SABC, host broadcaster of the G20 South Africa 2025.
Hey, good afternoon. It's great to be with you. Unati, I've got you now. They brought you here.
Absolutely. You know,
You're stuck with me.
when I was coming here, I mean, in my whole mind, I was thinking about what's been happening outside of, the running up to this Leaders Summit. And the United States of America, of course, dominating news. And I thought to myself, as I was driving along Nasrec and looking at the magnitude of the summit, I think South Africa is now on this global stage to make a difference.
Oh,
and I
absolutely.
think that's where our focus should really be.
Absolutely.
On South Africa and how it is incorporating the African continent and just the leaders that have been coming in, showing their support for this G20. I mean, a first for South Africa, a first for Africa. This is really historic. And I think that needs to play on South Africa's minds and our minds too.
Absolutely. No downplaying the geopolitical tensions as well as the diplomatic tensions between South Africa and the United States.
Absolutely.
But the moment of truth is now. There's been a great deal of work that has been done already in the past 12 months building up to this summit. And don't forget, if you say G20, it's in the name, isn't it?
Absolutely.
20. So therefore you have the 19 countries plus the 2 country blocks. And I think we would have missed the moment if we were to allow ourselves to be sidetracked and focus solely. This is not to downplay anything, but if we were to focus solely on those tensions and miss the boat as far as the rest of the agenda. For instance, the Leaders Declaration, which in the reporting from our special correspondent, Sophie Mkwena, is taking shape in terms of finding areas of consensus. If we miss that, we've completely missed the boat.
And it's quite important because, one wants to know what comes out of that declaration, of course, as their Sherpas presented to the leaders. But plenty of stories in store for our viewers this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with this. Road closures will be implemented from today until Sunday for the G20 Leaders Summit, which is being held here in Nasrec in Johannesburg. Let's get you an update from SABC News reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa, part of the formidable team that we've deployed across the country, watching all things G20. Mbalenhle, where do we find you at this point? You were focusing earlier on the infrastructure, the transport infrastructure, incorporating rail in trying to ease of movement of people as the G20 road closures and other logistics kick in.
Yes, certainly, Thulasizwe. And I'm actually overlooking the N1 highway right now, and traffic is flowing quite seamlessly, and it would seem as though the Gautrain is also quite instrumental in easing that flow of traffic, as you've heard earlier on from the conversations that we've had since the early hours of this morning, where we were in Sandton and we moved around from Rosebank all the way to Pretoria and Hatfield using the Gautrain. We've heard that international delegates are preferring to use Gautrain as a mode of transport to ferry them between the airport and Sandton, where many of them will be staying. But we also caught up with the MEC for Roads and Transport, who let us in on a secret meeting that was taking place between the UK delegation and the Gauteng provincial government. And we know that based on that interview, that this meeting stems from a letter that came from the office of the UK Prime Minister, requesting to share information and consider some form of collaboration and investment and so on. But it would seem as though the Gautrain is one of Gauteng's shining stars, and this could turn out to be a good news story in comparison to the geopolitical tensions that you and Unati were just discussing right now. I'm joined by the Premier right now. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. We are not certain if the Prime Minister was indeed here, but we do understand that there was a delegation. Was the Prime Minister part of that delegation?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yes, indeed. It was part of the delegation, and we are truly humbled as the Gauteng government to host His Excellency, the UK Prime Minister, and together with this delegation, and for them to appreciate and observe this important investment that we've made as the Gauteng government. I mean, this is almost a 45 billion investment that was made almost 15 years ago, that is becoming, it's maturing next March 2026. The entire investment will now be owned by the provincial government, which means that we have to thank those that had the foresight that 15 years ago they went to the private sector and say, invest, you operate it, but hand it over to us after 15 years. And they've done so, and we are quite excited with that arrangement. And the UK wanted to study that model, and he was a very kind person. We really appreciate the new relationships that we've developed with the UK government.
You know, it's quite interesting that once upon a time, South Africa was going to the rest of the world asking for information, and now a first world country has come to South Africa to share information. And obviously this is quite a notable moment for South Africa. Care to share with us what kind of information you shared with the Prime Minister?
We are quite aware that we are very ambitious on the rail industry. We want to expand it. Firstly, across the province here, but secondly, we want to have a speed train to link us with the province of Limpopo. We also want to have a speed train to link up with the province of KZN. And the UK, there's been a model of some sort, but they also accepted that we went beyond what they thought we can or were capable of doing. So their presence here was an encouragement. We've just strengthened the MOU that we had with them. So the team, the technical team, will just panel beat it there and there, so that it can be a model that both countries can utilize. But we're quite excited that the Prime Minister of the UK felt that this is an investment that they want to observe, this is an investment that they need to monitor. And we had an opportunity to share the history of Gautrain with them, and they were quite excited.
Okay. And now, Premier, KZN is really special to my heart, and I'd love to hear that the Gautrain is being extended there. Will we see it going all the way to Durban, or will we also see it moving in other parts of KZN, like say the north of KZN, or maybe even the Eastern Cape? Because it would seem as though Gauteng has done quite an excellent job in terms of putting together and even managing this bullet train.
Actually, we need to thank the Minister of Transport, Minister Barbara Creasy, for really rehatching and reenacting the speed train between the two provinces. And I think it's within that context that we are now going out. The Minister has published what we call Request for Information, RFI, for the private sector and those that are keen to put up some investment in this particular project. So it's on the basis of those requests for information that we'll now know how far can we stretch it and how far can we limit it. But what do we know? There will be a speed train between the province of Gauteng and the province of KZN, and there will be a speed train between the province of Gauteng and the province of Limpopo, and that we are working on a Transnet line that will take us to Gqeberha. So it's a rail season for us in Gauteng, and we're quite excited because this is the area where we'll create permanent jobs, and this is the area that will ensure that our infrastructure development grow at the speed that we require.
Okay. The rain is threatening to end this interview by the looks of things, but we'd like to know, where exactly did you go? Because we, as the SABC, could not be part of the walkabout, but kindly talk to us about what was the walkabout about, and what did you have to show to the Prime Minister?
Three critical areas. Obviously, it's the broad project management of this project. It's a very huge project. And secondly is the maintenance of it. How are we maintaining the train? And thirdly is the expansion. Where do you want to go from here? And what kind of partnership and support can we have for both countries? And on the basis of that, the Prime Minister had to step in the train and step in the maintenance line, so that they can see the skills and the capabilities that we have as a country. And I must say, I mean, I saw young people there quite excited, because this train is literally run by young people, you know, which is exciting, that the future is guaranteed and that we're building the skills that are appreciated by other people outside our country.
Premier, I don't know if you've heard this, but the Gautrain is a preferred mode of transport by the international delegates. They've been using it quite frequently this week. Do you foresee any capacity issues, or do you think that you are prepared for what's to come today?
Well, we'll make an announcement, a huge announcement as the Gauteng government in the next 2 months. We are expanding into other areas that don't have Gautrain as we speak now. We've gone through the procurement processes. There's a preferred bidder. We're just going through internal processes of vetting of ensuring that they have the capability. So Gautrain will not be the way you have seen it today. A new Gautrain, expanded, bigger, bolder, will be unleashed in the next 2 months or so.
Thank you so much. There you have it, Tula Sizwe, the Premier speaking to the SABC exclusively on this matter of the visit by the UK Prime Minister on that information sharing session on the bullet train, as well as the Gautrain and possible investment opportunities and expansion opportunities for this very, very important mode of transport. You will remember that trains are usually a cheaper mode of transport and most preferred by many who cannot afford things like taxis and so on. So it is back to you in studio.
Thank you very much, Mbalenhle Mthethwa, there speaking to Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi.